Okay, I took that one already. Okay, there's one ending to where you have to add a console to the launcher's perimeters, and then you gotta type SV cheats space 1, and like it's SV underscore cheats and then 1. But I have no idea how to do that. Like, I think that involves actually like tampering with the game's file, which I don't want to do. So I'm gonna go, we're not gonna do that ending. You're gonna have to look that up on another YouTube video. I'm sorry if you're looking for that. Right.
Just a step through this door, Stanley thought to himself, that's all I need. If I can make it through this door, I can make it through them all.
Okay, I never heard him say that either. That was... Oh, he can make it... Oh, he's saying that because I did that thing with the other one.
Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors.
I can make it through them all. Now I'm supposed to go down this one. I don't think I ever did one down.
Yet there was not a
when I came to the boss's office.
Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss. Oh no, no, not again. I won't be part of this. I'm coming to a staircase. Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired.
Can I just go to the coffee?
And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone
I go on the cycle.
Managed. His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all. None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations.
This is weird.
For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down? Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar.
It's like a scene from the Flintstones. They just go in a complete circle.
This is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming, he yelled. This is all a dream. Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground.
What the fuck?
Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about
getting
how
ridiculous.
it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself.
This is like he's just talking to him.
Surely, if he could just...
I'm not thinking about anything. You just creep me out.
He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job.
I wish it to be over.
Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment, and my wife, and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine. I am okay.
I'm still here.
Stanley began screaming. Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I?
Am I gonna have a heart attack?
And everything went black. This is the story of a woman named Mariella.
What the fuck?
Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work.
What the?
But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk.
That me?
Although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments, she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy. This much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a
This is very
way,
heavy
seeing
stuff.
This man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day. The very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
Whoa. That was a very weird ending. The ending is getting very, very, weird. Okay.
All of his co-workers
So now this one.
What could it mean? Stanley
Keep
decided to go
going.
to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
I'm gonna get all these endings, except for that one where you gotta do the game console, because I don't know how to do that.
When Stanley came to a set of two open, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. The lounge was sublime,
Yep.
a work of art. But eager
work
to get
of art.
back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
No.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot
I
here.
think you can jump down
I'm
there.
not your enemy, really.
No,
I'm
nothing by I've seen.
I realize that investing your
Or
trust
you
in
jump
someone
now, you
else
can,
can
it's
be
fine.
difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time.
Now you gotta jump back onto
There's
here.
someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten. What? Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others?
Nope.
Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you?
Yep.
Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance. Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door. Aha, perhaps you misunderstood. Stanley walked through the red door. I still don't think we're communicating properly. Stanley walked through the... All right, fine. Go ahead, Stanley. Yep. You want to know so badly what's out there? You want to find out what lies at the end of this road you've chosen? Well, don't let me stop you. You see? There's nothing here. I haven't even finished building this section of the map because you were never supposed to be here in the first place. Broken rooms, exposed developer textures. Is this what you had wanted? Was it worth ruining the entire story I had written out specifically for you?
Yeah.
Do you not think I put a lot of time into that? Because I did. And in the end,
you could have just told me.
For nothing. This is what you wanted to see.
I would have been okay
Help me
with
here,
it.
Stanley. Help elucidate these strange and unknowable desires of yours. What would have made this game better? What did you want to see? Vehicles? Skill trees? Work with me. You give me absolutely nothing so far. Tell you what. Let me take a stab in the dark at a new design, and you can give me some feedback. There we go. A third option. This already feels leaps ahead of where we were before. Go ahead, Stanley. Take it for a spin.
It doesn't... I don't know what to do here. I think we just go in here.
Okay, I'm going to stop you there. Now, tell me about your experience with this new version. Would you say that the game benefited from allowing you more choices? Feel free to be honest. I'm looking for some real critical feedback here. Aha! You see, I knew I was onto something. Where do these flashes of inspiration come from? How did I know the game needed a third door? Well, it's instinct mostly, a calling in your gut. I really couldn't say where the idea came from, except that I felt it in my soul. You can't teach that, Stanley. Don't even try. Here, based on the data from your previous playthrough, I've compiled a new version. And to be perfectly candid, I think I've knocked it out of the park with this one. Let's take a look.
What? Where am I at? .98% of players are more attracted than Stanley. Okay. Pretty good time to improve your Stanley variable career. This is amazing.
Now, would you say that competitive leaderboard helped you feel motivated to keep walking through doors? Again, honest answers, please. Hey, I nearly forgot. I've got a prototype of a new game I've been working on, and now would be a lovely opportunity to give it some playtesting.
Let's do it.
You wouldn't mind taking a look at it, would you?
Let's do it.
Let me boot it up.
Oh, it's the same game. It ain't. It is just restarting the game. Because it isn't.
In this game, the baby crawls left towards danger.
What the?
You click the button to move him back to the right, and if he reaches the fire, you fail. It's a very
what the fuck?
Desperation and tedium of endlessly confronting the demands of family life.
What?
The art world will really take notice. But of course, the message of the game only becomes clear once you've been playing it for about 4 hours. So why don't you give it 4 hours of play to make sure it's effective? Be sure to keep notes on your experience.
Why don't you let him go?
You heartless bastard.
You heartless bastard.
Despite me. Because if it's the latter, well, I don't know what to do. I'm completely out of ideas.
What if I were to do that for 4 hours? Would I actually get some?
Thing that might improve the experience for me. I'm not even going to try. I'm out. I'm out. I'm done. It's over. Thank you for playing. Your input was extremely valuable. Oh, hey, since my game was so awful, why don't we play someone else's game? Just to ease the pain. Let's see. What do we have here?
Okay.
Yes.
What do you got for me?
This seems like it'll work. Let's give it a shot.